Alright, what am I doing, guys? I'm adding more coats of poly to the neck over here, and I'm gonna make it a glass-like sheen, right? I aim to put 10 coats. Believe it or not, it says to wait 2 hours between coats, but I find that it dries like pretty darn quick. So I just wait 2 or 3 minutes between coats. So here we go. Time for another coat. Let's open the sucker up. Put a couple of drops on here. And smear it about. It goes on so thin, guys. Okay, now while I wait for that to dry, I'm gonna talk bad about Gibson. That's right. So, ah, just a couple of videos ago, or maybe just the previous video, I made one called Shame on You PRS. Because I bought one, it was like close to 2 grand, and it came with obviously like the factory didn't do a good job on it. So I was like, oh man, what is one to do? You know? So I just happened to be on Reverb, and I was looking at guitars on Reverb, and I was thinking to myself, I'll see like what I can get, like maybe in the PRS core. I looked around, the nice ones are like, 5 grand and 4 grand and stuff like that. I mean, like they also list brand new stuff on Reverb. And then some of the used ones, like around 3 grand, I look at it, it got chips and dings and cracks and stuff. I'm just like, oh man, right? So then I said, you know what? Someone left a comment, saying that, Gibsons aren't that expensive. Blah, blah, blah. They're not too expensive. They have like, lower price models and stuff. And you know, Gibson, it's like, I really hate Gibson, but I went and I took a look at it, and I was tempted. I was tempted to be like, maybe I'll get a nice condition studio or something. So what if it's, really crappy and the neck breaks easy and the finish is crap and the workmanship is probably not there and everything. But at least it's not so expensive. So I was looking at it and I just couldn't bring myself to do it because I'm looking at it. It's like the wood they use for the lower end stuff, it looks like crap. It looks like stuff that I get from like Home Depot. It's like what's so special about the wood? For like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, you would think they'll put some decent quality wood. It just makes no sense, guys. Like, what are they doing with the money? I just don't understand. Wait, I think it's dry. Let me see. Oh wow, that was quick. I'll put on a few more drops. Yeah, that Gibson, you know, I mean like, why is it? Why is it like that? I have a theory, guys. I think that it is because they have conditioned the American consumers to expect that sort of thing. It's like the brainwashing and it's all done in cahoots, right? Stuff coming out of Indonesia, prices so low, quality so high, wood so amazing. Stuff coming out of the USA, it's like if you're not spending like 2 grand at least, you're gonna get a guitar that looks meh. And I think that they could make it so that it looks okay. It looks good here in the USA. But they choose not to. Because if they did, it'll be decades of them messing with your mind revealed. It's like there people will be like, all along they were able to make such beautiful wooden stuff for 2 grand. And meanwhile, like I just bought this like 5 years ago, yeah, and it sucks. You know, it's like people would be so mad, right? Wouldn't you be mad? I would be mad. So I guess they just have to keep up with the shenanigans and offer, low-looking products for things up to like 2 grand. Low-looking, like God forbid they put a good-looking thing for 2 grand. They're not gonna do it because that's just the way they've been doing it all along, guys. All along. That is just so sad. Because I was looking at PRS's offerings, and again, their S2 line, woods, it doesn't look good. Some of them, even like when they do the split for the book match, half of it got no grain, and the other half got grain. Not grain, I mean, a flaming, stripes and stuff. It's like, how much does a piece of wood cost? Like, can't, like, they're charging so much, they should reject half the stuff that comes into their factory when it comes to wood, or use it for really dark and solid color guitars. Why are they selling like see-through finishes with wood that crappy for what I consider to be extremely expensive? 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, 2,200. That is expensive for wood, guys. It's wood. You know, it, and then like I click over to the POS SE selection, and oh my God, I know, yes, they are veneers, which is thin slices of wood, but it is amazing looking thin slices of wood. Sure, sometimes you get the butt crack looking stuff underneath it, it looks like a butt crack. And those and if you're not careful, you buy a core with the violin carved. Depending on how the flames are, those things look pregnant. It looks like an alien about to give birth. So I'm looking at it and say, no, because it's like a pot-belly pig. I'm looking at it and say, no, so S2 is where it's at, because it's like flat and then flat again on the edge and flat again. So at least it doesn't look pregnant. I mean, like, nothing wrong with being pregnant, that's the cycle of life and all that, but not in the guitar, guys. We don't have little guitars running around the house, because of the pot belly pregnant guitar. So it shouldn't look pregnant. Anyway, let me see. Is this dry yet? I don't want to touch it, but let's see. Ooh, time for another coat. Isn't that amazing, guys? Wow. This is quick stuff. How many coats is that? 4 coats? I'm gonna stop at 10 coats and see and then I'll let that dry for a day or 2 days, and then I'll maybe a week, and I'll sand that back. Just smearing it on, guys. This is gonna be fantastic. This is my premium Les Paul style guitar, in case you're wondering what guitar I'm working on. There we go. Smearing it on there. All right. Well, thanks for watching my video. And coming soon, I ordered the POS S2 McCarty, a different one now. I returned the one that from the dealer with the discoloration on it. I'm like, how? Only because, look, there have been comments, right? Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, it's discoloration. What about the playability? What about the sound? What about the this? Have you even tried this and that and that and that? It's not about that, sir or ma'am, whoever left that comment. The problem is, I'm paying an X number of money. To me, it's quite a bit of money, all right? I'm a regular guy, I'm a medic. I'm not, like the Surgeon General of the United States with the millions of dollars a year, who can buy like private stock and then bitch about that. It's like, they're like saying, oh, a little discoloration. The point is that, like, what I believe in is that if you operate a business in a factory making goods, yes, okay, some comments are like, well, of course lemons happen. Yes, lemons happen. But, you make a lemon in a factory that charges you 10 times the price of what other factories make similar goods. And yes, those 1/10 the price places, yeah, they have lemons. But when you pay 10 times the price, How are you going to let something like that get through the person in charge of, coloring and the binding person, whether it's scraping or masking, whatever method they use, that happened, okay? And then that made it through the quality control person, and then that made it through the person who does the shipping and the boxing, makes it through the person who does the receiving at the dealership, the dealership. Am I saying the right thing? The dealer, supposed to have staff that inspects the goods upon arrival, and then, they hang on to it for a while. Maybe they hang it up, or maybe they keep it in a box or whatever until someone decides to buy it, right? Then there's a person that takes pictures of it, okay? That puts it out online, the pictures of the guitar. And then there's a person who puts it back into the box. And then there's the person who packs it up for shipping. And then there's the 70-point inspection or whatever it is, pre-shipping that's supposed to be done, and that bypassed everybody. Now the dealer, showed me an old picture. He said, oh, it was like that when we sent it. See this picture from the listing, right? Well, that picture was taken at the time of the listing, but unfortunately, with my expert analysis, right? Because I do a lot of Photoshop, and photography and things like that. I know my stuff, right? That yellow on white, right? You couldn't see it in that picture because it is simply overexposed. It's blown, right? Because the dynamic range of the camera they use is not that great. So they were trying to expose the guitar body itself, which is a lot darker. So then that the binding area, you couldn't see that discoloration at that point in time. But I didn't bring it up to the dealer when he mentioned it because I'm just like, dude, if I try to explain it, it's like no one wants to hear that. As long as they're happy to just take it back and send it back to PRS to have it be cleaned up, that's why I gotta argue with people. So I never brought that up with the dealer, that their photo was too low resolution. Now, if they had sent me the original picture from the digital camera, I could put it into the Photoshop and then adjust the lighting, and that usually can reveal such a difference in very light colors. But this picture they said, I mean, like, they're in the business of selling guitars. They're not in the the CIA detective stuff, so they probably wouldn't care anyway. So I just left it alone. Now, is this dry already, guys? Is it time to put on more? Yeah. Thanks for watching.